Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin, and I'm the author of Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, exploring your 7 energy centers with mindfulness, yoga, and Ayurveda. I'm also the author of Heal Yourself, A Return to Wholeness, the integration of body, mind, soul, and spirit. And in fact, this book will be on sale for Kindle on Sunday, February 9th for 99 cents. So if you're viewing this on Saturday, go ahead and get your copy of this book on Kindle for 99 cents on Sunday. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do tarot and astrology readings. You can book that on my website, michellefondinauthor.com. Welcome to Exploring Your Inner World, my series for 2025. And today we're going to do the second sign of a spiritual awakening. What is that second sign of a spiritual awakening, you might be wondering? If you haven't yet viewed my video on the first sign, I'll post that link right here. The second sign is increased isolation, either wanted or unwanted. But this really is the second thing that happens when you are spiritually awakening, is that you have increased isolation, either wanted, like something that you are actively doing, or unwanted, meaning people just kind of leave your life. It's a really crazy thing that this happens. There is this increasing need to figure out what is going on with your spiritual awakening. And so what you will notice as you are spiritually awakening, you will begin to withdraw from activities, friend groups, things that normally gave you pleasure. You'll withdraw, but almost, it's not like depression withdrawal. It's almost like a mindful withdrawal. I will give you an example. So when I went through a major spiritual awakening around 2002 to 2003, now it started way before that, but this sense of I need to self-isolate really happened around 2002. And this is how it went. Every single Sunday, the guy I was married to, my husband, my former husband, and I would meet with this French group every single Sunday, like at 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And it was family and friends and kids all together. These were French families and mixed couples, meaning the couple with the American and the French person, like us, like the way we were, and their kids. And this was something that we had done for a long time. Every single Sunday without fail. And it was like a wine and cheese thing. The kids would play, the adults would have conversations. And in 2002, as I was going through my spiritual awakening, I was like, I don't want to go anymore. I even told my husband this. I was like, I don't feel any resonance with these people. Like, I feel like the conversations are so superficial. It doesn't feel like they're friends. It's so shallow. It's so artificial. It doesn't feel deep. And my husband at the time looked at me and he was like, what are you talking about? Like, he totally did not understand in any way, shape, or form. He did not get it. He just thought I was nuts. He thought I might be just going through something. And he was like, well, I'm still gonna go. And I kind of felt bad at the time because I was like, well, if you go and the kids are going, then I'm probably going. But I wasn't happy going. I wanted to stay at home. I didn't want to be with these people. I didn't want to feel like I was forced to be in a group where I felt like I had nothing in common with them and the conversation was really superficial. And that, my friend, is what will happen to you too, as you are going through a spiritual awakening. So the self-isolation piece happens just like that. It means groups that were once fascinating to you are no longer fascinating. Groups of friends that you used to see on a regular basis, you might shy away from seeing them because you figure out like, gosh, we really have nothing in common, or we have nothing to talk about anymore. And so you will want to unplug from those groups, from those activities, because you're like, I don't know what's happening, but nothing makes sense anymore. Another thing that might be happening to you is increased isolation, but in a way you do not really want. And what you might find if you haven't voluntarily given up friend groups, activities, things like that, is you'll notice people pulling away from you. And you might notice people disappearing from your life altogether, whether they croak, like they just die on you, or whether it's a friend that moves across the country, across the state, or maybe to another country, or just a group of friends that decide that they want to do certain activities and you're not wanting to do those activities, but they've decided, if you don't want to do this activity with us, too bad, because we're going to do it and you can join us or not join us. So you might notice, like, all of a sudden people disappear from your life. And it can be really, really upsetting when this happens. You're like, wait, I had like 10 friends and now I only have one friend? How does this make sense? And it usually happens rather quickly after the first sign of your spiritual awakening. It happens pretty quickly where you find yourself alone more often than not. You find yourself outside of a group setting more often than not. Or you find yourself voluntarily wanting to be alone. And that really wasn't the case before your spiritual awakening. And it can feel really, really, really lonely in those beginning phases where you are opting to be alone, or people are disappearing from your life, and you're going through all of this turmoil of your spiritual awakening. And you really don't have many people to turn to. You might not even have anyone to turn to. In my case, my husband, the person I was married to, had no idea what I was going through, didn't understand it, didn't really have the capacity to understand it. And so the person I was with most of the time, because I lived with him, he couldn't understand what was happening. And I don't even think really I understood what was happening, but even more, he didn't understand it. And I really could not explain it to anyone because even my friends were not going through a spiritual awakening, so they couldn't get it. And so I found myself increasingly alone in this and really just not knowing who to talk to and who to turn to. And so it was isolating and it was lonely. And I felt like no one could quite understand what I was moving through. And that was before YouTube and social media. So you can imagine the difficulty in connecting with anyone who is going through a spiritual awakening or on the spiritual path or journey. At least today, you can find YouTube videos and influencers that are going through a spiritual awakening. You can find groups like on meetup.com of people that might be experiencing the same things that you are experiencing, or maybe a Facebook group. And I would suggest that you do that. I would suggest that even though you might feel that increasing isolation or that people are disappearing from your life, I would say seek out like-minded individuals, like-minded people. And in fact, that's really the way it happened for me on the twin flame journey when I started posting in 2019, because I was having another spiritual awakening after that initial one around 2001 to 2002, just depending, it was like a sliding date. I had a bigger one in 2018, late 2018, when I met my twin flame. But in 2019, in February, the reason I started posting twin flame videos was because I was looking for community. I was looking for like-minded individuals who may have been experiencing similar things to what I was experiencing. It really wasn't to give the information. It more was about, here's what I'm experiencing. Is anybody else experiencing the same thing? And that is the way that started. So I would say that the community that I had built by posting about what I was going through was really helpful to also create that community of other people that were going through similar things. So even though you might want to be more alone, and that's normal, that is completely normal. If you want to spend more time alone figuring out your spiritual journey, that's absolutely positive. Don't look at it as a negative. But when it tips into feeling really lonely and you feel like there's really no one that you can talk to about your spiritual journey, that's when it's time to reach out to like-minded individuals that might be strangers. They might not be your friends yet, but like-minded individuals that can kind of bounce off ideas with you so that you can share experiences. This isn't about finding a guru, so to speak. It's not about finding the leader who's going to lead the way, because I truly believe that everybody's spiritual journey is very unique, and it's up to you to seek out for yourself what that spiritual journey looks like. That being said, there are others who are experiencing similar things, and it's always great to connect with others experiencing similar things so that you can, again, bounce off ideas, share stories, and not feel like you're so alone in this process. So if you are feeling increased isolation on your spiritual journey, know that that's completely normal. And if tons of people have all of a sudden left your life, also normal. So know that none of that is abnormal as a second sign for your spiritual awakening journey. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with others going through a spiritual awakening. Thank you for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy one of my 11 published books. You can book a reading or join my meditation course. It's on demand, online. I would highly recommend learning a silent-based mantra practice that I teach. Meditation, especially a silent meditation, really helps you throughout your spiritual journey. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.